Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So, coming back for the following skills of TOEFL preparation. So, we have skill 9 for adjective clause connectors. So, please pay attention for adjective clause. Adjective clause, a clause that describes a noun. Okay, so it positioned directly after noun. So, this is the point. So you should have to pay attention about this one. Okay, so the position directly after the nouns. Nouns that describe adjective that describe noun. So it should be followed with the connectors such as whom for people, which for things, and that for people or things. So to make sure that if you want to play safe, so you have to use this, that, in daily conversation. Okay, so what about this one? For the first example, this is the house that I want to buy. Okay, this is the house that I want to buy. So in adjective itself, in adjective clause, remember that describe noun. So remember, so there is supposed to be connectors. So we could find out the connectors here. So you make a circle and follow with I want to buy. Okay, so this one, okay, this one identified as a dependent clause, or in Islam sunnah. Okay, so it is just for, how do we call that, for optional. Okay, boleh ada, boleh tidak. Okay, so what about this one? This is the house. If we omit this, the sentence still correct. Subject, verb, and also object. But why do we have to use this? Because we would like to give the more explanation about the object, about the noun itself. This is the house that I want to buy. Ini adalah rumah yang sangat saya inginkan. Ini adalah rumah yang sangat ingin saya beli. Nah, seperti itu. So that I want to buy refers to house. Okay, so what about this one? The house that I want to buy is expensive. So you should identify which one is a subject. This is the subject. Okay, which one is a verb? So this is a verb. Even though it is also a verb, but this is dependent. Okay, remember that. The red line, dependent, sunnah. Okay, so the house is expensive. Keterangan, sifat. Okay, the house is expensive. If we just omit this, okay, the sentence still correct. The house is expensive. Remember what this one? Okay, so adjective clause, dependent or sunnah. So what about this one? The job, okay, the job blah 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 started yesterday was rather difficult. So you have to find out which one is subject, the main subject. Of course, this one is the main subject, and it's supposed to be adjective clause. Because what? Because we still have how do you call that? A circle connector. So you have to make a circle. Where's the connectors? So remember that the connectors should be this. What do you say? Do you think that it is? Okay, or this? Okay, so please pay attention about this one. The job blah 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 started yesterday was rather difficult. If we just omit this, okay, if we just omit this, the sentence still correct. The job was rather difficult. But the question is, how could we answer this one? So we could still pay attention for the direction. Okay, so the position directly after noun. Okay, so this is noun, which is directly after noun. Okay, of course this, and it's supposed to be followed with what? Followed with this one. Which one is in this case? Okay, this. Okay, how could we do the analysis? The job that he started yesterday was rather difficult. Pekerjaan yang dia mulai kemarin sangat susah, sedikit susah. Okay, that is the point for this one. So, remember, adjective clause is described noun that position directly after noun. The noun it should be here, and the noun it should be here. Okay, it could be in subject, it could be in object. So that is the point for skill 9. So we go to for the exercise 9 about noun clause. Okay, sorry, adjective clause. So take a look at for the example for number 1. So we could say that it is correct. Yeah, we have just mentioned before that make a circle for the connector. Okay, we have this one, and I didn't believe the story that he told me. Saya tidak mempercayai cerita yang diceritakan, yang dia katakan kepada saya. Okay, so this one is a subject, this one is a verb, this one is an object. So supposed to be noun clause. But the question is that he told me. Is it correct or incorrect? I didn't believe the story. If we just omit this, the sentence still makes sense? Yes, the sentence still makes sense. And what about this? Is it correct that he told me? I didn't believe the story that he told me. Okay, so the answer is correct. So what about number 2? Why it is incorrect? Subject, connectors. Did you recommend for the job? We'll start work tomorrow. So, okay, it should be whom you. Okay, after connector supposed to be followed with a subject, dependent subject. So, whom you recommended for the job will start work tomorrow. Okay, so that's the point. So if we omit this, the sentence will be correct. Miss Brown will start work tomorrow. Okay, so what about number 3? Okay, so number 3 is the lecturer notes which lend me were not clearly written. The lecturer notes which lend me were not clearly written. So what about this one? This one is the subject. Okay, so it could be a subject and it could be as a verb. Okay, the main verb followed with connectors, make a circle, and it's supposed to be followed with with a subject dependent. But where is it? But no, right? So you couldn't find out. So this sentence identified as incorrect sentence because there is no dependent subject after connectors. Okay, so we could say that the lecturer notes which you lend me were not clearly written. Okay, so you have to put you here. Which you lend me were not clearly written. The lecturer notes. Okay, and next, so we could say that this is the subject. Okay, so this is the main verb. Okay, so if we omit this, the lecturer notes were not clearly written. Okay, so number 4, Sally has an appointment with the hairdresser whom you recommended. So what about this one? Is it correct or incorrect? Sally as a subject, okay, as a verb. Okay, so these connectors. You recommend it. Okay, if we just omit this, follow with a subject. Okay, good. Sally has an appointment with a hairdresser. Okay, sentence still correct, but what about this? Is it correct? After whom, so we have subject, dependent subject, and dependent verb. Okay, good, correct. So number 5. About number 5, so we have this, the phone number that you gave me. The phone number that you gave me. The phone number that you gave me. The phone number. So what about number 7? Alright, sorry, number 5. The number that you gave me. The number that you gave me. Subject. Okay. So connectors, make a circle, followed with a dependent subject. Okay, good. You gave me. Okay. But the question is, where is the main verb? This is a dependent verb, but where is the main verb? Okay, correct. So this sentence is incorrect. Why? Because there is no main verb here, right? So it should be correct if there is a sentence like this. The phone number that you gave me, that you gave, was, so you have to add was here, to be, was, me. Telepon yang kamu berikan adalah punya saya. Okay, so why it was? Because gave. Okay, past tense. Next, go to number 6. She is able to solve all the problems which did she cause. So, is it correct or incorrect? Okay, she is able to solve the problems. Okay, so if we just omit this, the sentence still makes sense. Okay, the sentence is good, but the question is it correct? Which connectors followed with what? Okay, it's supposed to be followed with dependent subject. Where's dependent subject? It should be like this. Okay, so it will be correct if the sentence like which he caused, which she caused. Okay, so the sentence is incorrect. It should be correct if we just rearrange this, which she caused. Number 7, the day that she spent on the beach left her sunburned. The day that she spent on the beach left her sunburned. So the sentence is correct or incorrect? Take a look at for this one. This one is the subject. Okay, the subject that she spent on the beach left her. The day that she spent on the beach left her sunburned. So we could identify that these connectors followed with the dependent subject and also with dependent verb. Okay, so yeah, the sentence is correct, right? Because if we just omit this, we get the main clause. The day on the beach left her sunburned. Okay, so we just omit this because the day relates to this one, relates to the day. And for number 8, next week I'm going to visit my cousins whom have not seen in several years. Next week I'm going to visit my cousin. So if we just omit this, we could still have the good sentence, but please pay attention. Is it correct or incorrect for number 8? Okay, it is not correct. Why? Because there is no subject dependent here. Okay, it's supposed to be correct if the sentence like whom I haven't seen in several years. So missing subject here. So there is no subject in here. So this is incorrect. Okay, so what about number 9? Number 9, so did you forget the promise whom you made? Did you forget the promise whom you made? Okay, so it is incorrect. Why it is incorrect? So you have to identify the connectors. Yeah, even though this is a dependent subject is a good, correct, and also this one is also correct, but the connector is incorrect. Why? It's supposed to be which or that. Why? Because it is about promise. Promise, it is not people. Remember that whom for people. Okay, but there is no people here, right? So you have to pay attention for the promise. So it should be correct if the sentence like, did you forget the promise that you made? Did you forget the promise that you made? Okay, so you just omit this and change to which or that. To make it simple, just use that. Okay, and the last one is the teacher whom the students like the most is their history teacher. The teacher whom students like the most is their history teacher. So the subject here, followed with connectors, followed with dependent subject, and also verb. And so this is the main verb. This is the main verb. And if we just omit this, okay, the teacher is their history teacher. Okay, the teacher, so this one, whom the students like the most is dependent clause category noun clause. The teacher is their history teacher. Okay, so the sentence is correct. Okay guys, so take a look at for another skill. So that's all for today. Thank you for your attention and assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.